This is sponsored content. I do have some of the physical version, but there's enough like DLCs and stuff that they're not called DLCs for physical. Expansion packs, I guess. Um, there's enough physical expansion packs that I don't have all of them. I do have friends who have all of them though, so I have like seen all the stuff before, but I definitely haven't played with all of the stuff before. This, the video game, does not have everything yet, but it still has more than enough to be overwhelming. Um, so we're going to try to keep things not too complicated here. This is a cooperative game with no hidden information between players, which means that you can play it solitaire. You can just play one board and spirit. That would be one player basically, or you can play it with many other people, and it kind of like scales indefinitely. Like you can, in theory, put together multiple copies of the game and play a huge like 18-player thing. Basically, every player has a board, and they all connect together into an island, and more players just means more boards. But yeah, for the video game, we're supporting up to 4 players, which is reasonable, I think. The biggest game I've ever played was 6. I'm going to play with 2 boards and spirits, even though I'm playing by myself, because it is a cooperative game with no hidden information between players, you can play, like, multiple players at once if you want. It's like, what's it called when you, like, play 2 Diablo characters at the same time? I want to say it's called hotboxing, but I know that's not what it's called. Twitch chat. It's called multi-boxing. Okay. All right. Cool. So, I'm going to choose the spirits once we get in there. I think for adversary we will play Sweden. I think Sweden's pretty straightforward. And we're gonna play base level like 4 or something. I don't know. We don't need to make it super hard. If you've ever played Settlers of Catan, this game is like backwards Settlers of Catan. There are colonizers coming to the island to build cities and stuff on it. You are the spirits of the island, and you are working in loose alliance with the current inhabitants of the island to repel the colonizers. So against the Kingdom of Sweden, we are going to basically have their buildings deal more damage to us and some stuff like that. But mostly it just means they have bigger numbers than usual. We don't have to worry too much about it. And for today, I'm going to play... Does this have an aspect yet? No. I'm going to play one character who I really like and have played before on the channel. The Vital Strength of Earth, who is just a very straightforward, simple character. How the game works is that as you go, this is like a... It would be more obvious if you're playing the physical version. This thing on top of the number 3 is a cardboard circle, and as you grow every turn, you take the cardboard circles off and put them on the board. So they're like your presence, and they basically represent your like your own cities or whatever. And you can cast your spells from them and stuff like that. And like basically all of my growth options add 1 presence to the board. As I grow, just normal things happen. I can play more cards per turn at some point. I get more energy per turn to play the cards with, etc. I have 1 innate power, which definitely has some pretty powerful upside. If I can activate this, which requires playing cards which have yellow, gray, and green symbols on them. So this one has like a yellow and gray symbol. If I'm playing this card, I'll get 1 yellow, 1 gray. But I need to get yellow, 2 gray, 2 green. So like I could play this one, that gives me yellow, gray, green, and then this one, that gives me gray, green. That would be enough to proc the first part of my innate power in a turn. There is a lot of upside on this innate power, because you can get some very powerful power cards, and it can make it so you play them twice. And, you know, that's cool. And then our special rule is also very simple. We get 3 defense in any land where we have 2 of our presence, our little cardboard circles. However, I'm going to play with an aspect. So this is a way to kind of increase a little bit of interest and complexity in the spirits from the very beginning of the game. Just give them a slightly different rule that you can play with. Sometimes an aspect will also change one of your starting power cards. These power cards are like... In Spirit Island, your characters have unique starting cards, but they're all drawing from the same deck. So like in Slay the Spire, the characters all kind of start with mostly the same deck. Like they all have strikes and defense. And then a few unique cards, but then all of the cards that they draw for the most part throughout the run are from unique decks to them. In Spirit Island, it's kind of the opposite. Your character starts out with a lot of things which are unique to them, and then as you go, you're drawing from the same power decks as everybody else. And so you might like move toward a late game build which you're used to playing from a different character, even though you're playing a character who you've never tried it on before. But yeah, some of the aspects will change one of your starter cards as well, which changes the way that the character works quite a lot. In this case, instead of defending 3 in every land where we have a sacred site, in lands where we have a sacred site, that means 2 presence, it takes 8 additional damage to add blight to the land, but this doesn't protect the Han. These are like the indigenous people who we are loosely allied with. So, whereas this makes it so the first 3 damage that we take in a land where we have a site basically doesn't matter, this makes it so the first 9 damage that we take in a land where we have a sacred site doesn't blight the land, which is like bad for the most part, but it still kills all of the Dahan, which is a different flavor, a little bit different. I think probably weaker, but I'm not really sure. And then for my other character, I want to play somebody new. So I've actually played a decent amount of this on stream, and you can find it on my Variety YouTube channel where I have all of the VODs from my streams for the last like couple of years if you want. But there are some new characters, and these are going to be a lot more confusing than the first one I showed you. And also, I'm not going to know how they work. So like, I don't even know what this is. That is some combination of symbols. If we read this for a long time, eventually we could probably work out what it meant together, but I'm not sure. I'm thinking we try to find somebody who's a little bit more straightforward, but still new and more complicated. Shroud of Silent Mist. All right. I think this looks manageable. I looked at this earlier and it seemed like it was pretty fun too. You can see though that there's like a lot more stuff going on a more complicated spirit. For example, in my growth, we grow once every turn. This one doesn't actually add any presence to the board. So we're not taking these circles off our presence track at like a rate of 1 per turn. Sometimes we won't take any off. Sometimes we'll add 2 at the same time. Sometimes we will add 1. So our like rate of accelerating in growth is different. Also, instead of just gaining more energy per turn or more card plays per turn, we have other things that adding presence can do. This one will always give us a water element every turn. That's the blue element for making our passive work. So that makes it easier to make our passive abilities work. And we have 2 of those instead of 1. If we get to here, we will also get the air, which is the purple one. And then down here, we have the ability to move a presence. That's one of these little cardboard circles. So we can move where we are on the map very freely. Moon is this one. So eventually we'll have water, air, and moon if we do all of it, which will make it much easier to get our passives going. And then this lets us reclaim a card. So we have a hand of cards, and when we play them, they go in our discard. And then eventually we have to reclaim them to play them again. And so if we start with 4 cards, if I were to play like 2 of these cards, then next turn I wouldn't have access to them and I would have access to these. So you're kind of trying to work out how are you going to get as much value as possible out of the cards in your hand over the course of 2 or maybe 3 turns before you have to reclaim and take them all back. But usually when you reclaim, you're getting less done with the rest of your turn. Like we don't get to add any presence when we reclaim all of our cards. But we can reclaim 1 card every turn if we get to this part of the Shroud of Silent Mist. We also have Summon 8 powers This one's dealing 1 damage, so actually killing the invaders. Freeze adjacent land with your presence, 1 damage to a different invader. Okay, so we can deal 1 damage to lots of different things. 1 damage again, 1 damage to each invader. So it's like a nuke that blows up stuff in a land which you are in. It has range of 0, so it has to be a land which you are in. And this lets you push a Dahan out of a land which you are in. Or as it gets bigger, you can push explorers as well. These are the invaders. The invaders before they build cities. They send explorers who will then try to build cities. And then we have special rules. Once per turn, when you gain a power card without fire in it, gain an energy. So here are my power cards. This is the fire element. So when I gain a power card, by like clicking on this one, for example, which lets me gain a power card, I'll look at 4 cards and choose one of them. And if I choose one without a fire symbol, I will get an energy. And everybody has ice cream, so energy persists between turns. This is a way to store up energy so I can actually play my cards. Because I don't get much energy. Actually, I get very little energy any other way, huh? None of these have energy on them. I can only get 2 energy per turn here. So it's going to be hard for me to play expensive cards at any point. Mists, Shift, and Flow. When targeting a land with a power, you may gather one of your presence into the target or an adjacent land. This can enable you to meet range and targeting requirements. So that means if I want to target innate power Suffocating Shroud, it has range of 0, but actually I could target it 1 land over and gather my presence into that land. So it actually kind of has range 1 as long as I'm willing to move my presence with it. That's kind of cool. Slow and Silent Death, invaders and Dahan in your lands don't heal damage. So this is really fun. And I guess that combos with Suffocating Shroud, which can deal 1 damage to things but not kill them, to like over the course of 2 turns, like clear out an entire group of people. And then during time passes, 1 fear. Fear is like one of our win conditions. We generate fear cards which have random effects which help us, and then eventually if we get enough of them we win the game. So we get 1 fear, max of 5 per land of yours with damaged invaders in it during time passes, and you gain 1 energy per 3 lands of yours with damaged invaders. Oh wow. So we like want to leave damaged invaders alive. That's really fascinating. Okay, so that will be really fun. Let's throw you on the board. We are playing Kingdom of Sweden, 6 damage. They got extra stuff. Villages deal 3, cities deal 5. At the end of setup, after the Explore card, accelerate the invader deck on each board at a village. Okay, that's all pretty straightforward. I think that's reasonable. Let's press go. Will I win? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Here we go. Easy non. I did. Abrosing to 23 months. So a nice thing about playing this game on PC is that you don't have to do all of this work. I get to choose which land they're getting an extra village in. So this is a blight. Blight tokens are bad. I'll probably put it in this land since this land doesn't have a blight token yet. We don't want them to like start stacking up blight tokens in a territory. That becomes a problem. Also, this way I put it closer to the person who wants to inhabit territories with damaged invaders in them. So maybe you can come over here. The downside of having the video game do all of this is that you don't necessarily like know what's going on. Like you could easily just have the video game doing everything and never understand what's actually happening. The invaders work out of an Explore deck, and the Explore deck has Phase 1 cards, Phase 2 cards, Phase 3 cards. If they get through the entire Explore deck, the invaders win, but often they win a different way before that happens. Do you have a different? No. Sweden does not have an additional loss condition. Some invaders do have additional loss conditions. So you draw a card from the build deck. Babros, did I already say that? You draw a card from the Explore deck, and it goes into build. They're going to build in wetlands next turn, and they explored in wetlands this turn. What happened is we flipped over the card from the Explore deck. It was wetlands. So they explored in wetlands, which means they put an explorer into every wetlands, which was next to one of their buildings or the coast. And then next turn, they're going to build in wetlands, and then it keeps on going left. So the turn after that, they will ravage the wetlands, which is going to be them attacking us. So we have to work out how we are going to deal with this, and this ravaging next turn. This turn, they will all build, and next turn, they will all ravage. That's our immediate, straightaway thing that we're dealing with. If those ravage and deal damage to us, they're going to add blight to the island. Right now, we have 5 blight tokens available on a healthy island. So once 5 blight tokens are added to the island, we will flip to an unhealthy island. And there's we don't know what that means. There are a variety of cards which you can draw when you get an unhealthy island, which will change the game in some way. It's actually really fun, because you don't know exactly what you're going to have to adapt to if you get to that point. Hey, Void Hawk. We also, so this is a primary immediate goal, is to deal with all of these issues. We also have the more general, longer term scaling goals of how do we make our characters stronger so that we can continue to deal with increasing threats, because they're not only going to do this, they're also next turn going to explore somewhere new, and the turn after they ravage the wetlands, they'll ravage a different place. And then when we get to stage 2 and stage 3, the cards actually do more. So in stage 3, they won't just be exploring the wetlands, they'll be exploring the wetlands and the sands at the same time. So we have to build up and we have to defend ourselves. Let's work out Vital Strength of the Earth first, because this is a much more simple character. Our cards available are Year of Perfect Stillness, Draw of the Fruitful Earth, Guard the Healing Land, Rituals of Destruction. I think that on turn 1, the only thing that makes a lot of sense to use is Draw of the Fruitful Earth to gather 2 explorers, I guess, and maybe 2 Dahan. But the reason for doing this is, I have one more thing to explain here. Red things go before the invaders take any actions, and blue things go after the invaders take any actions. That's it. So if I play this card, the invaders will have explored in a new place first, and I can gather the explorers out of the place that they explored into to stop the explorers from building. So this isn't dealing with the wetlands ravage that's about to happen, but it is dealing with the ravage that's going to happen from the explorers who show up next time. So if I'm planning to play that, there are a bunch of things I could do. You could also... How much energy did I get for turn 2? Card plays 1. I think in order to deal with this, this is kind of weird. Is this right? I'm thinking about using Add a Presence at 2 range from me, because I'm down here. Which means if I add a presence 1 away, I can only get to here. And they're going to ravage in these next turn, and my passive ability makes it so their ravages, do much less. So it kind of feels like I should try to get over here, but I am paying 2 energy, essentially, to get 1 more range on my presence add. I'm not going to get the +2 energy. But maybe that's okay? I don't know. Oh, I'm here! Oh, I didn't even notice. There's 3 of me. Okay, cool. So I can just add a presence. Let's go to... Let's go up to 2 card plays per turn next turn. Go here. I'm now here. And for our card play, I'm just going to do Draw of the Fruitful Earth to gather some people from somewhere, wherever they end up going. We'll gather them to somewhere else to mess them up. Okay, so that is my easy character done. And now this one. this is going to be a mess. I have no idea. So, oh my god. What are my cards? That seems like a good thing to work out first. Show hand. I can deal 1 fear, 1 damage to each invader, 1 damage to each Dahan. For 2 energy. Do I have 2 energy? I don't think I have 2 energy. The most energy I can possibly have this turn is 1. Okay, so that can't be played right now. 2 fear if invaders are present. When presence in target land would be destroyed, its owner may, if possible, instead push their presence. You may gather 1 presence or sacred site of another spirit with their permission. That's very funny. It's quite funny. The fog closes in for each adjacent land with your presence 1 damage to a different invader. Push 2 Dahan. For each adjacent land with your presence 1 damage to a different invader. Or unnerving Paul. 1 fear up to 3 damaged invaders do not participate in Ravage, or 1 fear defend 1 per presence you have in target land when this power is used. Okay, so Sweden's weird thing is that they deal more damage than usual. Explorers usually deal 1. Explorers build villages, which deal 2, and villages build cities, which deal 3. So usually this would build a village, and then an explorer plus a village would deal 3. And if I used Unnerving Paul, I would have defend 1 per presence you have in target land. They have to do more damage than your defend by 2 in order for something to happen. Which is kind of weird. I don't know why that is. I guess that's how the numbers lined up. But they're attacking for 4 instead of 3 because they are Sweden. And this place is going to be attacking for 6. So like in general, my defense is going to be less strong on these characters. What is strong about this character? I don't even like understand. How do I do anything? I can get 2 card plays, but I think I might have to just gain a power card and see what's going on. And if I gain a power card without fire, I get 1 more energy. So I actually could play Dissolving Vapors. If I go for gain a power card, get 1 without fire, that's 1 energy, and then I could add a presence and use this one, and that would get me another energy this turn. And then I'd have 2 energy, and I could play Dissolving Vapors, dealing 1 damage to each invader, which doesn't do anything. Okay, well, we probably don't want to do that. Let's gain a power card now. I get the sense that this character wants to gain a power card pretty much every turn. That's kind of my vibe. Because of this thing that's going on, we have this double presence ad, but I think it might be a trap. Gaining power cards seems pretty good. All right, so we gain a power card. We can choose between a minor power and a major power. Major powers cost more and do more. I don't have any energy though, so we're probably not going to do a major power. The other rule to know about major powers is you have to forget one of your current powers if you gain a major power. Whereas with a minor power, we're just adding 1 more new power. We don't want something with fire, and none of these have fire though. And we have Disorienting Landscape, Push, and Explorer. And if the land is a mountain or a jungle, we add a wilds. Hey, the devs in chat. What's the simple way to show people what different symbols mean? You have to go in here, reference. No, it's not there. There's the full rulebook, which you can read everything off. The problem with watching me play Spirit Island is now you kind of want to just go play the board game, and there's no way you can play this and have the stream on at the same time. That's okay. You can go play the board game. It's a very good game. The card library. I'm wondering how to show what wilds is to people. Wilds prevents the next explorer into a region. So if we could push an explorer out of a mountain or jungle, we would also add a wilds to it, and the next time they tried to explore into the mountain or jungle, they wouldn't be able to. And how to play, I was there. Menu, how to play. reference. There's a bit of stuff on this. Wilds, a token that prevents the next explorer action in its land and is then removed. I don't know if that's the easiest way to find it in here, but yes. Okay, cool. So there's that. That is an option. Once this turn, target spirit may repeat the lowest cost power card they have in play by paying its cost again, and you may do likewise. If target land has no blight, add a beast there. We don't have any spirits which interact with beasts, so we're probably not going to be doing any beast stuff this game. There are like entire mechanics which different spirits interact with, which you don't even really think much about if you're not playing with one of those spirits, which is kind of cool. This is a fun one. If invaders are present, we gain a fear, and if the land is a sand or a wetland, we remove a blight. I think that's actually really good for me. So instead of killing the invaders, we're just going to stop them from successfully applying blight. And my character likes the invaders staying alive, right? Because I have, I gain energy for invaders having been damaged and staying alive in my lands. So I think we try Uncanny Melting. And immediately what I can do with this is I'm not going to deal with these invaders, but what I am going to do is I'm going to remove the blight in the land. Because if they blight a land which is already blighted, stuff starts to get really nasty. But if we just remove the blight, less bad. This is actually a different way to do the same thing, I've just realized. If target land has no blight, add a beast. If target land has exactly one blight, remove it. We'll do Uncanny Melting. Will we? I'm down to try. I think Disorienting Landscape might be better, but I'm down to try Uncanny Melting. Okay. It doesn't have a purple on it, which will make it harder to proc my thing unless I get all the way over here. But that's mostly okay. I get 1 energy for grabbing the card, so now I could play a 0 cost and Uncanny Melting if I decided to go to card plays too. But I think I'll go to energy per turn 1. I think I will need that energy. And where do I want to place my presence? I can only place it on mountain or wetland. Within 3 range. Maybe we just put it here? Actually, this is targeted from a sacred site where I have 2 presents. So actually, let's put this here. Oh, do we have a command? Does ! Spirit Island work? It doesn't. It does? It does. Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay. Uncanny Melting, remove a blight, finish playing cards. And we're just going to get blighted in these 2 regions, I think. Don't they do bad stuff? If invaders do at least 6 damage to the land during a ravage, add an extra blight. Oh, that's kind of bad. Because that's gonna be 4 blights. Okay, we might die very quickly. That's exciting. So we had no fast cards. Now the invaders are going. They were building in the wetlands. They didn't build in a couple because there were diseases there, which stopped them. They've explored the mountains. So my thought, if they explored mountains, was draw of the fruitful earth. Can go here pretty easily and pull explorers out. Yes, I think so. I want to pull this explorer out though, actually, because this is going to ravage, and right now it's dealing 6 damage, which makes an extra blight. If I pull this explorer out, now instead it's only hitting for 5. And that's like, I mean, it's not good, but it's a bit better. We can also gather our Dahan if we want. Sure, why not? Uncanny Melting goes here. And we are allowed to gather presents from here into here if we want. I don't know if we want that. I'm going to skip it. Cool, that was turn 1. Straightforward, yeah. Okay. So, now, this is going to blight. This, we have an ion. We're going to place another presence here. Okay, that's actually a thing that's always happening. We're always going to place a presence here, and since we don't need range on the presence ad, we can gain a power card, which is great. And as this character, we are so down to just go for major power cards right off the bat. We get a lot of energy per turn. We can't play many cards per turn. So, major power. Let's go. We want yellow, mountain, green. Major powers have more text on them than minor powers. This one costs 4, skips all invader actions within range 1 of my sacred sites. And if I have 2 purple and 3 gray, which I'm kind of close to, it also generates 4 fear. That's not a bad card. Poisoned Land deals 7 damage, adds a blight, destroys all of the Dahan. If we have 3 gray, 2 green, 2 red, for each blight we do additional fear and damage. Manifest Incarnation. 6 fear, it has to target a land with a city which we are in. +1 fear for each village or city, and for each of your presence in target land, remove a city, village, and explorer, then invaders ravage. That seems really strong for me. Oh, that seems incredibly strong, because I have, okay, first off, removing a city, a village, and an explorer. That's just great. But also, I have the thing where ravages don't do anything unless they deal 8 damage. So even in regions where I'm not killing everything, that is still very good. Also, hold on, I have to target it at a sacred site, but I have this card which lets me move sacred sites around. So like, I can get this, I can blow up this region with that. And then this spirit can move my presence into somewhere else. And I can reclaim it and do it again. That seems really cool. Okay, so probably Manifest Incarnation. What's this? Add a disease that prevents a build. If it's a jungle or a wetlands, 2 fear and 3 damage. If you have 2 blue, 2 green, 1 damage to each invader. This is actually not bad. Jungle or wetlands. Because I can have 2 green and 2 blue pretty easily. I think we'll go Manifest Incarnation, though. I've never gotten to use this card, and it seems like a good spot for it. When I grab that, I have to forget another card. A sensible thing to do could be to just forget the card that's in my discard. Sure. And then, in order to play this turn, I will need 3 energy. So, let's get 1 more energy this turn. And play Manifest Incarnation. Pretty exciting. What's my favorite major power? Draw toward the Consuming Void, maybe? Can we see all the cards in this? View deck. Draw towards a Consuming Void. Gather an explorer, village, city, Dahan, beast, and presence from any spirit from each adjacent land. 4 fear, 15 damage, 5 damage to Dahan. Destroy a presence from each spirit. Destroy 2 beasts. If you have no other power cards in play, any number of times, forget a minor power, a major power, and a unique power to perform the above effects again. What a cool card. Just blow everything up. Alright. This is good. All of those people are dead now. So this is also good. This we mostly have an eye on because our passive will make them not do anything anyway. This is an acceptable loss. Now over here, we have to deal with everything. We have not solved any of these. So let's try to work out how to do that. I think we probably are down to start by looking at another minor power card. This is going to be a minor power spirit. This is going to be a major power spirit. Alta Isolation pushes people per Dahan. So I could use this to push that explorer out of this region, for example. That seems pretty good. And it's fast speed and cost 0. And that stops them from building. It kind of seems great. Infested aquifers. If target land has any disease, 1 damage to each invader, or if it's a mountain or a wetland, 1 fear and add a disease. Unfortunately, this is slow. I do feel like it has good elements for me, but still not finding it as compelling. Pact of the Joint Hunt. Target spirit gathers 1 Dahan into one of their lands and 1 damage in that land per Dahan present. And it can target me. It's like a cool effect, which I don't see how we're really using. Prowling Panthers unfortunately has a fire on it, so we're probably never taking it. 1 fear, add a beast, or if target land has a beast, destroy an explorer or a village. Yeah. I think we just go Call of Isolation. Gives us another energy. We could take a water off here, or we can take 2 card place return. I think we probably have to take 2 card place return. This is exploding, and I'm not going to do anything about it, I don't think. Up to 3 undamaged invaders do not participate in Ravage. Oh. Wait a second. But the Dahan do? Wait, that's really good. Okay. Okay, so maybe that's the thing. So like, oh my god, this is breaking my brain. We're also, the Dahan won't attack non-participating invaders. Oh, that's key. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. Can I pull a full... I wonder if I can pull both of my presents out of here before it gets attacked and killed. I want to play that. I guess I can just push out of here and stop these invaders from participating in the Ravage, and this happens, and we have to deal with that next turn. That's kind of fine. In terms of placing presents, we want to add presents to a mountain or a wetlands. I think I'm going to go over here. If I remember right, in lands with your sacred sites, it takes 8 additional damage to add blight to the land. So this is taking 9. There's a nice little interface here which shows you what's going to happen. This is going to get blighted. This is going to get blighted. This is going to get double blighted because it's getting hit for 6. This is building, building, building. But this is not going to take any blights. So I think if we come over here, we're fine. We get to hang out and start synergizing our powers a little bit. And then we are going to push an explorer out. We are going to make some fear and stop invaders from participating in the Ravage. We are not going to proc our passive, which could let us deal 1 damage. Do I want to proc my passive, which lets me deal 1 damage? I would need to, instead of this, play this. And if I did that, all of a sudden I'm dealing 1 damage somewhere. This is now going to be a problem next turn. But by dealing 1 damage somewhere, I'm starting to turn on my passive. 1 damage to a different invader for each adjacent land. Oh my god! For mists, shift, and flow, when does it trigger? When the power card is played or at the beginning of the corresponding action phase. Apparently when it's played. Alright, I don't think we need to passive that much, so let's go back to this play. This one looked fine. Finish playing cards. In fast phase, we are going to push an explorer. We're going to push it to, I think, just here. And we're going to make it so everybody here does not ravage. Oh, there are also events. I forgot about events. So we have grabbed the Gradual Corruption card. On each board, add a blight to a land with a village or a city. Spirits may prevent this on any or all boards by paying X energy board to protect, where X is the number of cards in the invader discard, which may be 0. It is currently 1? It's currently 1. So we could pay 2 energy to prevent that. We're also going to have in each land with a disease, 1 damage to each invader and 1 damage to each Dahan. Remove disease from each land where this destroys any villages or cities, and each spirit may add a Dahan to one of its lands with Dahan. All right. I think it's worth it to not add blight to the land right now, probably. So, what we just saw right there is a pure shot of board game. Sorry, what's happening? Click that, pay an energy. My energy on the spirit's kind of limited. Maybe I will actually just like let this have a blight in it. No, I'm gonna pay an energy again. Each land with a disease, I don't think there are any diseases. And we get to add a Dahan to a land you have with Dahan in them. This one's about to die, so we just go here. And this is the only option over here. The invaders ravage in the wetlands. The invaders strip the land bare. They deal 6 or more damage during the ravage, so an extra blight is added. That's a special rule for this enemy. Why did they ravage here? Excuse me? Did I need to click on them? Oh, it says damaged, not undamaged. It's fine. I'm deeply convinced that Rockimbo will just carry me. Look at this card. Check this card out. Boom. Oh my god. That just made 10 fear? Where'd the invaders go? Okay. So, in stage 2, they still can go to mountain, wetland, sands, or jungles, but they also escalate when they do so. After invaders explore into each land, if that land has at least as many invaders as a Dahan, replace one Dahan with a village. So in stage 2, they could have gotten like a mountain that escalated, but instead they got a coastal lands. Coastal lands doesn't have escalation on it, it just sends people to coastal lands. There are 3 of those instead of 2, so the problem is that there is 1 more land on each board with invaders in it. Maybe Jorbs should play on a higher difficulty. I definitely have. I think I'm on like a 5 win streak playing 4 random spirits at difficulty 8 or something right now. I don't remember. Something like that. It's been a while though, okay? It's been a bit. So, we're going to ravage in mountains. So we have this to look at, and we have... That's actually it. This is good. This is good. This is good. So this turn, all we have to worry about over there is 1 ravage. But then we have coastal lands coming up. So in particular, this and this are going to be important to deal with. Those are going to be a problem if we don't do something about them. Because they are already blighted as well, right? Are doubled adversaries in the Steam version yet? I don't believe so, no. I really like getting cards. Getting cards is good. Hot take. I wonder if I can just kind of use this every turn and use Flowing and Silent Forms Dart by to move my Rockimbo's presence around. And that way we could pull some presence into here, which would let us... Next turn we could Year of Perfect Stillness this and guard the healing land something else. This is going to be ravaging for 9. This is good this turn, but will be ravaging for 4 next turn. This is going to be ravaging for 9. These are big numbers. This is ravaging for 5 this turn, and then again for 10 next turn. Good grief. So we've got a lot of stuff to deal with. Isn't Year of Perfect Stillness the name of that popular book? No. You are thinking of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Let's get a power card. Coastal this early is brutal. Yeah, it's pretty rough that we're doubling up all these wetlands and mountains too. Like there was a wetland and a mountain on the coast on both boards, and those are the cards that they got here. So actually the other card which they discarded was Sands, which is here. It's a rough coastal draw, it feels like. I don't understand how this spirit works at all. There's clearly something strong I meant to be doing. I wonder what it is. There's only 1 power here that doesn't have fire on it. Next time, Dahan would be destroyed in target land. Destroy 2 fewer Dahan. Or push up to 3 Dahan. I'm good. That's fine. We can do that, I guess. Actually useful here. So they'll attack for 4, killing both the Han, but then I can make it so that the Han don't die instead. Then the Han will strike back and kill them in response. Or I could do it here. That could be even better, because that happens this turn. Can I move to the Han there? Everything's at slow speed. How do I, like, move to Han in? Okay. I won't decide where to put my presence down yet. Let's grab a power card for our rock friend too. And I could go major again, or I could go minor and go to 2 card plays this turn. Let's take 1 minor power. I think 1 minor power is fine. If terror level is 2 or lower, gather a village, and the first ravage in target land this turn becomes a build there instead. I feel somewhat confident that this card is utterly and totally broken. first ravage in target land this turn becomes a build there instead. So that deals with one of these coastal ravages entirely by itself for 1 energy. But it has to target a land with Dahan. There's also Kitai Corn. Have I ever played Twilight Imperium? I have not. Oh, also, it's gathering a Dahan, which could let me, like, get Dahan in here. There's also Call of the Dahan ways to replace an Explorer with a Dahan if you have 2 moons, which I guess I maybe almost could. Instead, replace a village with Dahan. Blah, blah, blah. I think we're just taking this. Call to Trade's very strong. The downside of Call to Trade is we are letting the invaders build more stuff and not killing them all. But Sweden doesn't really punish me that much for it. And also, like, I have a Year of Perfect Stillness on this character. Invaders skip all actions and target land this turn. So if they build a really big land, like, a lot of the time it doesn't do anything at all. And when it does do something, I already have the tools to deal with that. So that feels right to me. We will add a presence. I think I'm going to add another presence here, weirdly. I'm only going to end up with 1 card play again this turn because this only costs 1. My decision to start by taking this turns out to have been terrible, but I didn't know I was going to get a really good major power that cost 6. Anyway, it turns out that I just needed to be taking energy the entire time. So you get 1 card play. What's Rituals of Destruction? 2 damage. If target has at least 3 Dahan, 3 damage. Rituals of Destruction would deal with this because they'll build and then I'll just blow them up. Very expensive though. There's this to deal with this turn, but that's like the only thing and it's a long way away. Okay, Rituals of Destruction I don't usually play ever as this character, because it's just so expensive for what it does. But 3 energy to deal with this next turn is, I guess, an okay price. Call to Train does seem very good. Theoretically infinite defense. Yeah, kind of. Something like that. What am I doing about this? This seems like the thing which remains and is tricky. The amount that I don't know is very significant. Reduce adjacent land with presence. 1 damage to a different invader. Can I get to a point where I have presence all around this and then deal damage to 3 different things? Does that even achieve anything? I kind of feel like what I'm doing right now is Rockimbo is playing 2 boards at the same time because I don't understand what this does. Move a presence. Have a look again at my special rules. I know about Misshift and Flow. But I'm not sure that it... If that is what Slow and Silent Death, invaders and Dahan in your lands don't heal damage. Yes, I know about that too. How much energy do I have? 2. Wondering if I can get a big passive turn? I don't really see it. All right, we're going to put a presence here. Stuff is happening. You're waiting for when Jorb realizes how this character is good, so he can say it, and then you can also understand it too. Yeah, I am also waiting for that to happen. What was I doing this turn? Increase adjacent land with your presence 1 damage to a different invader. Skip 30 minutes in the VOD. 30 minutes in the VOD will be Rock Himbo winning by itself. While this character continues to die. Oh, none of these other cards do anything right now. So I guess I'm like done. Also, I wanted to be able to deal 1 damage with Suffocating Shroud. Oh, maybe I do want to be able to deal 1 damage with Suffocating Shroud. I'm going to move a presence. I'm going to bring this over here. Oh, this is actually wild. This is going to attack for 5, 8, 10. I need to deal 1 damage in there. Alright. A lot of very confusing things are probably about to happen. We're just going to find out what they are. I don't really know. I'm not really sure what they are. We're going to go 2 fear. If invaders are present, when presence in target land is destroyed this turn, blah, 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 you may gather Thing of another spirit. What is happening? 2 fear if invaders... Oh, this is gathering a thing from my presence from a surrounding thing, I think. So we skip that. Then we gather 2 presents from you. We get an event. The energies of life shift toward destruction, bringing wasting and disease to the animals of the island. Death is a part of life, but does this go too far? You may let discretion have its day. Remove a beast and add a disease on each board. And for each board, discard the top minor power if it's fast at a blight. Invaders in Dahan have -1 health this turn. Oh, that's useful. That's useful. We can use that. Okay, I'm not opposed to doing that. Fortify the resilience of life costs 4 energy per player, aided by Claw. That means if I forget a Claw card, that covers 4 energy. If I discard a Claw card from hand, it covers 1 energy or something. And if I have Claw already, that's worth 1 energy too. Basically, aided is an entire mechanic. I don't think I can do that. I think that's a bit expensive and I don't have many claws. So I think we're just doing the top thing. Let destruction have its day. Allow destruction. On each board, remove a beast, add a disease, discard the top minor power, and if it's fast... Oh, I get to choose where the disease goes? I get to choose where the disease goes? Okay, cool. So we stop this build, and now that's actually dealt with. That's very useful. And over here, we can stop a build somewhere too, I'm guessing? Stop a build there? Stop a build here. Invaders have -1 health this turn. Stop a build here. Discard the top minor power. We didn't get any blight either. Awesome. On each board with 4 or more villages and 4 or fewer Dahan, add a blight to a land without Dahan. There are no boards with 4 or more villages, cities, and 4 or fewer... Okay, that was a very good thing for me in the end. This is a fear card, so we earned a fear card with our card that blew up the thing. Each player chooses a different coastal land with Dahan, and each 1 damage per Dahan. Oh. So... that's also very useful. We do a damage to that here, and that dies as well. Invaders ravage in mountains, invaders build in coastal lands. Okay, they've explored jungles because of their thing After invaders explore into any land, if that land has at least as many invaders as Dahan, replace a Dahan with a village. This Dahan turned into a village here. Dahan up here turned into a village as well. So that's too bad. The fear card was pretty good for sure. We have more to do. And I'm not sure what it is yet. Is there a way to push a Dahan? There is. Reach adjacent land with your presence. 1 damage to a different invader and push 2 Dahan. Okay. So I'm going to begin by pushing a Dahan from here. I don't need to gather presence to there. This is good, by the way. Then I am going to deal two damage to a target land with Dahan and kill a city. Getting cities dead kinda good. Cities can be hard to deal with. Then reach adjacent land with your presence, 1 damage to a different invader. I think the plan is suffocating shroud here. We gather a presence from here. Click a land to gather presence into. Yep. That kills 1. So now this Coastal Lands Ravage is no longer... Wait, didn't Coastal Lands Ravage this turn? I'm confused. Anyway, whatever. No, I think next turn there's a... Yes, next turn there's a Coastal Lands Ravage. Okay. Now this Coastal Lands Ravage is only 1 Explorer, so that's no longer dangerous. 1 Explorer is not enough to Ravage in a meaningful way. And then we're going to, for each adjacent land with your presence, 1 damage to a different invader. We're going to do that here. We're going to gather this from there to cast it, and we deal 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. This is still a problem, but it is close to being solved. So we have done an awful lot of stuff there. Largely off the back of a fear card and an event card helping us out. Like, stuff ends up being pretty dynamic in this game. Okay. This turn we have Coastal Land Ravages. This is fine, but this is a problem. This I'm going to deal with using Call to Trade. So it will turn into a build instead of a Ravage. This is fine. This is fine. This is currently a problem. I'm not sure how I would deal with that right now. Up to three damage invaders do not participate in the Ravage. Oh, I could reclaim and use that. Okay. Okay, I'm kind of into that. I am starting to understand how this spirit's strong. The goal is to, like, have a bunch of invaders and have them all damaged and stop them from doing anything. Honestly, no. Having said that, it seems terrible. It doesn't seem good at all. I think in order to deal with this coastal thing, I will use Year of Perfect Stillness. To deal with this, I will use Call to Trade. And I still have Guard the Healing Land, but I'm not using it right now. That does mean I will need to be able to play 2 cards this turn. So in order to do that, I will add a presence here, gain a power card. Let's go for another major. This has all of my elements. For each Dahan, 1 damage, and defend 2 if you have yellow, mountain, green, 2 of each. You may push up to 2 Dahan, moving the defend effect with them. So this is useful if there are places with Dahan which are about to have a little fight. It does have all of my elements, so if I want to proc my replay cards thing, it's useful for that too. However, I think like Vanish Sock Delay Away, Forgotten by All is probably way better. Remove an invader and either an explorer or village. So we can remove a city and a village. It isn't hitting our elements, but like it's a major power. Who cares? There are other options. We should look at them too. If this power destroys any cities or villages, 5 fear. Gather up to 5 blight, 1 damage per blight. If you have 3 yellows, which I might, an extra damage per blight. That's certainly interesting. Immediately seeing ways we could use that and like proc the fear. It's kind of interesting to decide, do we want a card that's more expensive, doesn't destroy as much stuff, but makes 5 fear? Or would we rather just have the cheaper card, which destroys the thing straight away, kind of stuff? I kind of like Focus Land's Anguish, though, now that I've looked at it a bit more. Insatiable Hunger of the Swarm adds a blight. We only have 1 blight before the island flips into unhealthy. Add 2 beasts, gather up to 2 beasts. Each beast does 1 fear, 2 damage to invaders, and 2 damage to the Han. Destroy a beast. Probably not in this game. Okay, so all 3 of these have arguments for them. This has all of my elements and is cheap and just a pretty good effect. Could be useful here for next turn, for example, which is going to Ravage next turn, but has 3 Dahan waiting in it. Although, actually, if I just put another presence here, they will attack for 4, killing 2 Dahan, but I'll have 1 Dahan left alive who can strike back and kill the village that they have built. So I think this is kind of already dealt with. Focus Land's Anguish is a way to deal a bunch of damage and also do a bunch of fear. Fear cards, let me explain these a little bit more. So we have a deck. It started with 3 tier 1 cards. Once we hit tier 2, there are another 4 here, and we'll hit tier 3, there are another 4 here. If we ever reach this point, we win instantly. But also we have win conditions depending on which fear level we have. At the moment, if we destroy every invader on the island simultaneously, we win. But once we reveal the fear 2 card, if we destroy all of the villages and cities on the island simultaneously, we win. Once we reveal this, if we destroy all the cities on the island, we win. Usually, in my experience, we win with this card revealed and all the cities dead. So getting through that is not a terrible idea. 5 fear. It's a lot of fear. And moving the blight around is kind of nice. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to forget Rituals of Destruction, which is just very expensive. So, I was intending to like stop them from killing me, but also I could just let them kill me and play this. Probably stop them from killing me. That's dealt with, that's dealt with. This is going to be a problem next turn. This is going to be a problem next turn. Terror level 1 victories are almost a myth. Never seen one yourself. I have certainly never won at Terror level 1. Okay, so that's all good. We need some way to deal with this, and my thought had been to reclaim in order to do it. However, if I reclaim, I don't get any cards. The next time Dahan will be destroyed and target land destroyed, 2 fewer Dahan, or push up to 3 Dahan. The thing is, if I gain a power card here, there's just like no guarantee that I stop this from. Honestly, that would create 3 blight if that hit. So I think we just reclaim. We reclaim, we gain a power card. I think I can look at major here. I have a whole lot of minor powers. On the other hand, there are some really good minor powers I haven't found yet. Elemental boon and yeah, I'm gonna look at a minor power again. Target spirit gets more range with their powers is kind of fun. This has fire in it, this has fire in it, this has fire in it. Oh, well, okay. Well. Target spirit gets +2 range with all their powers. Maybe that's what we're doing. Choose a type of token from blah, 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 blah that exists in an adjacent land. And one of that token to target land. And it's whatever. The first game played, we did it on super easy, and we won pretty swiftly in fear level 1. It makes sense that you can do it on low difficulty. That makes sense. Fear damage, you may pay 1 energy. Deal 1 damage in an adjacent land. This obviously loses the energy from taking a power without fire, but it has good elements for me. I'm pretty sure that dealing damage is good for my character. I think I'm actually just going to take this. We don't get the fire thing. That's too bad. So, we need to up to 3 damaged invaders do not participate in a ravage. That deals with this. And then we need to do something else with another card. I wonder what it is. Now I hear my brain just like turn off. Kind of want to do Sunset's Fire Flows Across the Land and like do a bunch of dealing 1 damage to things over there. I could also remove a blight. Removing a blight's not that bad, because we only have 1 blight before we flip to an unhealthy island, and we could easily get 1 blight from an event card, even if we deal with all of the ravages. Let's do this. Wait. You're excited to get back to playing this? We stopped to complete a run of Ticket to Ride Legacy version. Ticket to Ride has Legacy version. Is Ticket to Ride PvP or co-op? Let's see what happens. You currently have no sacred sites from which to target Sunset's Fire Flows Across the Land. That's okay, right? Because I have like the things. When we do this, we can pull a thing in, and then we'll have a sacred site, and then the sacred site can attack. Or we could even pull a thing into here, and this could be a sacred site, and we could hit there. You know what I just realized? If I just like use a thing which has purple and blue on it instead, now my passive works, and I can just deal 1 damage this way. That seems a lot easier. Oh, okay. Hey, Captain Red. Yeah, it's a good day. It's a good day for sure. All right, call to trade. You are not ravaging. Click Dahan to gather them. Oh, let's get you out of there because you're about to die. I can gather a village? Yeah, I didn't even know. Hold up. Undo. We want to Year of Perfect Stillness this and gather this village into there. So they built a village instead of a city. Oh, but I can only target places with the Han. Okay, never mind. Do that. Do... this maybe. Year of Perfect Stillness, you. Do this. Skip. Remove invaders per ravage. And 2 fair invaders are present. I think that... Gosh, I wish I knew how this game worked. I think I want to do this and gather that. Maybe. Well, I'm committed now. A group of Dahan. Find a stony ridge with lingering blessings from an ancient mountain spirit. You may leave its strength with the Dahan. Dahan have plus 10 health this turn, and lands with Dahan invaders have plus 1 health this turn. Or with patient focus, craft a great warding. It costs 4 energy per player, aided by mountains. We do have mountains. Defend from spirits is 4 lower per land this turn, but during one future spirit phase, players may jointly decide to grant defend 4 to all lands that turn. I don't think that's very useful. Maybe I'm underestimating it. I have to forget some mountain cards in order for it to work as well. And I don't really want to do that. So I think we are just going to do the top one. For each land with beasts and cities, 1 fear and destroy beasts there. On each board with 4 or more village or cities and 4 fewer Dahan, add to... Oh, is that happening now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're good. We're going to leave it with the Dahan. This mostly didn't do anything. Fear. Each player may push up to 2 explorers from an inland land. Look at how much health we have. So a sensible way to use this would be to stop this from building. It's now dealt with. And perhaps also it would be good to get started on clearing this out. Oh, actually, we could get rid of these explorers and put them somewhere else. Put them in here. They're not doing anything, though, at the moment. Although neither of these. I don't really know what I want to do with the other push. I'm not sure how I'm dealing with this yet. It may actually come down to, like, numbers. They're going to attack me for 8, and I might actually need to defend for 3 somehow. So I think maybe we push this out, which makes them attack for 8 instead of 9. The enemies have done very little. And they are exploring the sands. So we got some more Dahan turning into cities and stuff there. We are having another round of this being a thing. We have to decide what Suffocating Shroud does. Where are all the damaged enemies? Do damaged Dahan count? Damaged invaders. No, it's only damaged invaders. I think... I think I don't know how I'm doing this. Let's pull you in here and start damaging this. It gets me more fear because we're in a land with damaged invaders. I think that might be the strong thing about the spirit, is the fear that's being generated. It actually ends up being quite a lot of fear. Oh, wait. Two cards per turn is plenty. If we get up to 6 energy per turn, we will have 7 energy total, which is not quite enough to play both of these. Ravaging in jungles this turn, that's dealt with by my sacred site. This doesn't have anybody. This is currently a problem. And yeah, is a problem. That's just true. That's a large problem. Okay, and this is also a problem. And then next turn we have stuff going on in sands. It would be nice to do something about that this turn. It would be kind of nice to deal with this in some way. I mean, everything's a problem, right? We are discussing the 3 foods conjecture. You have foods A, B, and C. If all pairings of A, B, and C are good, then all 3 together will also be good. Oh, fascinating. Can you think of any foods which defy this conjecture? I would go with a pairing of like a dessert plus something that goes with the dessert and a savory thing which goes with the same thing that the dessert goes with. So, like bread. Ooh, but all the pairings have to work. That's actually, I don't know. That's hard. Chocolate, beer, and cheese. Well, beer isn't a food, is it? It's a drink. Chocolate syrup on a hot dog. I've never had chocolate syrup on a hot dog. I don't know. I would have to think about that while I was not having my brain annihilated by Spirit Island. That is a huge attack. So we can reclaim, but if we reclaim, we kind of like... Honestly, if we reclaim, we get to play Call to Trade again. Call to Trade is broken. Okay, let's just reclaim. We reclaim, we go to 6 energy, we Call to Trade, and we get to focus the land's anguish. And that could blow up this pretty convincingly, I think. I'm into it. We go to 6 energy per turn. In order to deal with this next turn, I think I'm going to make a sacred site on it. And we have Call to Trade. Oh, actually, I have Manifest Incarnation if I want. It's so ridiculous that makes 6 fear. The part where they ravage at the end is certainly a little iffy. And it's slow. So I would want to like use it here, but they're going to build again. So they would have 2 cities. So I'd remove 3 that still have a city, village, explorer. That is a 12 damage, which is too much. So that's not working. I guess we'll just use Focus the Land's Anguish instead, which is fine. You are playing Breath of Darkness down your spine. It's very satisfying to make 8 fear in 1 turn. Like in real life or in Spirit Island? Wait. It's a very good board game. Our Link Man. I'm going to end up playing like 100 more hours of this, aren't I? Hey. I should have said I didn't want to play it anymore. I have so much other stuff to do with my life. Okay. I kind of want to like place 2 presents all of a sudden. I don't know. Let's keep on gaining power cards. And did I look at a major power card already with this character? No, I still haven't. Because there's still really good minor powers. Yeah. Let's keep looking for the minor powers, because I like still haven't found a single good one. Destroy an explorer and a Dahan, add a wilds, and defend 2 in any land without a blight at fast speed. I think unfortunately that doesn't really work for me. Push an explorer or 2 fear. I don't mind 2 fear, that's kind of fine. Invaders do not build and target land this turn. 1 fear per village or city or Dahan per 1 fear per village or city, or 1 fear per Dahan, whichever is less, or push up to 3 Dahan. If target land has Badlands, 1 damage, add a Badlands. Badlands are kind of interesting on this character, because Badlands make it so every instance of damage deals 1 more damage, and I deal 1 damage a lot of times. So you would think Badlands would be good, but also Badlands are usually added by cards which have fire. And if I take cards with fire, they don't give me energy. So it's like an interesting way to actually balance that. That's kind of cool. Let's go for... Did I have some way to deal with this? I'm not seeing a way that I have to deal with this. I'm just going to take Delusions because it has more of my elements. I would need a fast speed thing. I just absolutely cannot deal with that, can I? Alright, so that's going to blight and our island's going to flip into unhealthy. Well, that's too bad. Actually, instead of having that blight, I could have this blight. And that feels better to me because I feel like stuff over here is easier for me to deal with than stuff over in that corner right now. So maybe we'll do it that way. Do I want a moon, a water? What does this do? Push up to 2 explorers or Dahan. We sure can push things around. Well, I will. Well, I will. Let's just put a thing in here. It's probably fine. We're just kind of doing random stuff. 1 damage to each invader, 1 damage to each Dahan. Dissolving vapors. Can I just kill this entire thing over the course of like 2 turns? Reset adjacent land with your presence. 1 damage to a different invader. Maybe? like actually kind of? YOLO. Oh, this doesn't have Dahan on it. Okay. I forgot again. That's happening. We're going to pull a village in from here. Why not? In each land with 2 or more villages, push a village to a land without a village. That seems potentially quite bad. Let's push this. It has to go to a land without a village. I guess just back again. Let's push this to... Oh, I don't know how this works. I can't push out of here now because there's too much stuff. 1 fear per board with disease. On each board, 2 damage to Dahan in a land with disease or no diseases. During Ravage, Dahan only do 1 damage, but deal damage before invaders. Defense 6 in all coastal lands. Skip build actions in coastal lands that would add cities. Yo! Is that good? I don't know. I skipped this build. I guess that's about it. Cool. Oh, 6 defense here. Doesn't actually matter. The once healthy island has become blighted. However, one of the expansions added still healthy, by the way. Jabated cards. We are still healthy. Actually, we get some more things. Invaders find their land to their liking. Immediately, if the terror level is 1, 2, or 3, increase the requirement to earn a fear card by 1, 1.5, 2 per player. Round down at terror level 2. Oh. Okay. So now it's harder to make fear cards. It used to be 8 fear to make a fear card, and now it's 11. Whew. Y'all want to see. That is permanent, yes. Y'all want to see a neat trick? What if all of the blight was here and your stuff died? Okay, that's like an entire fear card by itself. Next, you're going to try to build in the wetlands, huh? What if all of these were dead? I am kind of into that idea. So I'm thinking, I don't know. I can leave this here, right? And it makes me 1 fear per turn. And it also is going, we're going to reach a point where we're gaining energy from this. This is kind of hype. So, okay, I don't really know what's going to happen here, but we're going to just go for it. So I'm also going to go 1 damage here, gather this in. 1, 2, 3. That's enough to get an energy every turn. And then let's bring this in here. Deal 2 damage. 1. Two, maybe? I have no idea where you're going. Maybe there. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different places with damage things in them. And I don't really want to do this. I'm gonna push Dahan into a different place to keep my Dahan alive. And we got all the passive fear stuff. So that's one more fear card. We are at fear level 2. 3 more fear cards will get us to fear level 3, at which point we'd only have to destroy all of their cities, which admittedly is still not that easy. We have ravages happening in sands. This one's okay at the moment. But this one is a problem. This one... Actually, this one... 5, 8, 11... Oh, I should have killed, like, a village. This one is a problem. Okay, this one's a problem. But we can deal with this by just putting a presence down. So let's start with that. Throw a presence here. Grab another major power. Show me the good stuff. Draw towards a consuming void. I was just talking about how this is my favorite card. I do love a good draw toward a consuming void. There are other options. Iron Flood is very expensive. Bit of damage. Very expensive. Vigor of the Breaking Dawn, 2 damage per Dahan. Yeah. Pent-Up Calamity. Add disease and strife, or remove any number of things for each token removed. Blah, 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 blah. This does immediately deal with this problem for this turn by strafing a city. Strafe makes it so the city doesn't attack, at which point they're only dealing 7, and because I have a sacred site, that's not enough to actually do anything. Okay, so I see the argument for Pent-Up Calamity. However, God, it looks incredible to draw toward a Consuming Void right here. That just kind of does a lot. The problem with draw toward a Consuming Void, if I may, it is kind of expensive, and like maybe there are other cards that can do that kind of effect for cheaper. Nah, are you kidding me? There's no card that does what draw toward a Consuming Void does. Yellow. Okay, cool. So I'm going to draw toward a Consuming Void. That's my entire turn. Because it's my entire turn, I can forget a minor power, major power, and unique power to do it twice. Which may or may not be a good idea. That other person who's doing something, what are you going to do? This is good, this is good. I need a bit of help here, I guess. Can you help in some way? Can you do literally anything? You can stop the thing from ravaging with the thing in your discard pile. Unnerving Paul. You could do that. Consuming Void to stop tier 3 explorations. That is certainly one of the things it will do. We can also just let it ravage, honestly. We're still healthy. What if we just gained another card? See what happens. YOLO is always an option. Good option? I don't know. I'm gonna go for a major power. Some of them aren't that expensive. Target spirit adds 2 presence and wilds to a land. That's probably a bit late. 1 fear, defend 6, downgrade a village or city. This works and is affordable. Let's lose... I kind of like all of these. That one. The Ravaging Sands. Has to target from a sacred site, though. All right, so that deals with this. There's still this thing happening. They are going to double blight, which is too bad. But I don't see a way around it. I'm just gonna remove one of the blights. How about that? This is all fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's all right. Finish playing cards. Done. Finish anyway. Yes. Winds of Rust of Atrophy. Targets here. Let's click a land together. Thing into here. Gather this. I'm going to turn that into an explorer, I think. Civic engagement. On each board, remove a strife. If you can, invaders do +1 damage per land when ravaging in lands with villages or cities. Okay, that's fine. On each board, destroy and explore a village and land with a beast. No beasts. Yeah, if you have beasts, the event cards tend to do a bit more. Push 3 to Han from lands with disease. I also don't really have disease. We haven't had too much in the way of disease cards or event cards doing anything. Let's remove... This is weird. This is weird. I'm going to remove an explorer instead of a village because when you kill a village, it makes 1 fear. And I think I'm going to reach a point where I can, like, kill stuff. Probably. And also, it doesn't really matter if they deal, like, 20 damage or 21 damage. Like, who cares? Over here, though, I will remove the village. They build in the wetlands. They explore the sands and wetlands. Oh, man. So one of the wild things about this sands is it is surrounded by 5 sands or wetlands. That's a thing that is happening right now. Okay, now we deal 15 damage. Can't you press like Alt or something? There's an interface thing that lets you do this better. And I don't remember what it is. Tab? Ah, tab and click. Alright, I have 15 damage to deal. Let's kill all the cities. What? Why did it stop working? Where'd it go? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And then, if I'd like, I can do it again. It feels compelling. It stops a bunch of builds. It does require that I forget a major power, a unique power, and a minor power. I'm down. So we're going to forget... Wait, where'd the thing go? Oh, I've already forgotten it. Okay. We're going to forget Manifest Incarnation, I guess. And guard the healing land. Okay, cool. Well, there are a lot fewer invaders now. Uncanny melting. If invaders are present, man, so we target that with this. Lost in the Swirling Haze pushes a Dahan. I don't have many of those. Let's like come over here though. That should win me the game. That's 2 fear cards. We're about to get tier level 3. Fear level 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cities still on the map though. I sure don't have any cards left as this character. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that gaining a power card would be good. I think... Well, this is really interesting. Like, do I gain a major power card? I have to forget something. But if I gain a minor power card, like, what does that even do? Let's go major. Dream of the Untouched Land. Remove up to 3 million and up to 3 health worth of invaders. If we have some elements which are actually kind of achievable, we can also add a random new island board next to the target board. Spirit Island is just really cool. It's just a really cool game. I kind of need a way to kill cities. 3 health worth of invaders. A city is 3 health worth of invaders. I'm actually kind of concerned that I'm going to like fail to win. On account of not actually ending the game. If that makes sense. Like, probably what I should actually have done is reclaim, draw toward a consuming void. I think this was wrong. I think I might be meant to forget this and keep Dream. A Year of Perfect Stillness, rather. Which is what clues me off to the idea that it might have been wrong. No. I'll remove 3 blights. Removing 3 blights is strong. Put this here. Okay, can you win the game for me somehow? What do you think? Let's grab another major power card. Entwined Power. You and target spirit may use each other's presence to target powers. Target spirit gains a power card. Deal. I didn't really read what the other ones were. Let's forget... I think Uncanny Melting's probably done. And we'll grab another... Hold on. Is this kickable? It requires 4 green to kick, so no. It looks like we need air and moon to get better passives. But I think first air. So let's grab air. Entwined Power. This turn there is a Ravage there, which does matter. That's the only place that there's a Ravage. And then there are builds. There are some builds that are happening. This is going to be hitting for 10, which is slightly more than we can defend for with just our stuff. So if we could deal with one thing there, that would be good. Push people per Dahan doesn't really work. Push an explorer. That actually does work. Although I'll probably use it to push this somewhere else. Okay, cool. And we have some sort of passive things going on as well. What if I did this? No. Is that actually better than removing a city? Maybe. Feels kind of silly though. Click a power deck to gain cards from it. We're going to look at a minor power. This is Strength of the Vital Earth. 1 damage per blight. Think about our passive, maybe? Sky's Herald, the Season of Return. A spirit with presence on target board may add 1 of their destroyed presence. Feather up to 2 Dahan. I think we take this just to proc the passive. We can double play some stuff. And then we will take... Reach Dahan, 1 damage to things. What does isolate a land mean? That means that the invaders don't realize that that land is next to things, for things like exploring from it, or stuff like that. It would be easier to explain if there were more things in this game which cared about it. But in this game in particular, there aren't really that many things which care about it. There are some invaders, though, for example, who have special things, which are like, if a land is adjacent to 2 lands with a village or city, do something in it. And if the land is isolated, then it won't do that. Choose a land with a city and build there. Oh, okay. Well. On each board, push up to 2 explorers or villages from a land with beasts. Gather Dahan into a land with Dahan. Nope. Each land with Badlands, Beasts, Disease. I don't think there are any of those on the board. Each player choose a different land with Dahan, each 1 damage per Dahan there. Oh my god. Were those the worst fear cards that have ever existed? Maybe. They might be. I'm actually a little bit concerned I'm gonna lose now. There aren't a lot of damaged things. Go on here. One thing that's going on is we don't have much in the way of turns left to win the game either. So we need to get some big turns going here. This turn, there's this Ravage, this Ravage. I don't believe either of them is quite dealt with. And this Ravage, which is a big mess. It turns out it's kind of bad to have no presence anymore. Interesting. Okay. Or cards, not presents. So we're gonna pull stuff from you into like here and blow a bunch of stuff up with Consuming Void again, I think. Where did my spirit go? Look. We all know where my spirit went. I don't need to pull things. I can add presence here and do Consuming Void. Or add presence here and do Consuming Void, maybe. I need to get another 47 fear, which is feeling kind of hard. Jagged Earth is 85% complete, and PP2 Natures Incarnate are starting development this year. Very cool. I don't think I realized that you had to go ahead for those. Maybe I did. I kind of deliberately forget things, because I never know if I'm meant to know things or not. Like, is stuff public or is it not public? Safest solution, simply don't know anything. Oof, it's a lot of wetlands stuff. You announced that stuff? All right, cool. Yes, I kind of assumed that if you're saying it here, it is announced. All right, let's go here. Let's play this. How bad can that really be? A shirt with presence on target board may add one of their destroyed presence, gather up to 2 Dahan, push a blight. Is playing draw towards a Consuming Void every turn good enough to win the game? This is what we're currently trying to find out. Let's look at another power card. This targets a land without blight. Sands or wetlands, no. This doesn't have blight. Cast down into the briny deep would be great if it were on my other character, maybe, but I don't have enough energy for it. Destroy all explorers. There are a lot of explorers. Let's do this. Forget. I had a dream that I forgot this card and lost because of it, I think. Just a weird deja vu moment. It would be conceptually nice to successfully do something a single time this game, but I think that spirit just doesn't do anything. I think we're just drawing toward a Consuming Void. We'll see what happens though. I have no fear cards here at all. Call to Isolation is going to push somebody in a land with a Dahan to somewhere else. Or push Dahan. Okay, so there's a Ravage in this wetlands. So if I push a Dahan to here, the Explorer will die to the Dahan before it gets to build anything. On each board, build a land with invaders not matching a build card. Build there and there. On each board, choose a land with village into Han, push a town per 2 to Han there, doesn't do anything. Alright. This I never solved as an issue. Cascading Blight. Ouch. If you add Blight to a land which already has Blight, you add another Blight to an adjacent place. It's going to happen here as well. Immediately in 4 different lands with Explorer or Village, replace a village with a city or replace an Explorer with a village. Okay. 1, 2. Oh my god, it's 4 per board? I think you're currently watching me lose. It's okay, I have to go have dinner anyway. There are 2 Explore cards left. There are 5 Blights that can be added before I die. We're going to draw toward a Consuming Void here. We're going to hit this for 1 fear. We're going to hit this for 1 fear. Okay. Tier 3 fear cards are very strong. So it's possible that they will bail me out here. Absolutely plausible. Certainly not guaranteed, but having 2 tier 3 fear cards is something. Ravages are happening here, 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 here. Okay, 6 ravages to deal with. A lot of ravages. I think we want to look at another major power card. This isn't good enough, is it? I don't think so. Simply top deck lethal. Yes. Infinite Vitality is pretty good here. This is a way to completely save one of the regions which is in trouble. And nothing else really seems like it does anything comparable, so. Goodbye, draw toward a Consuming Void. I actually like capped my scaling. A little awkward. If I do this, for the first time this game, once per turn, target spirit may repeat 1 power card with energy cost of 1 or less. I actually successfully proc my passive for the first time this game. Let's do that for the achievement of doing it, even if it isn't great. I'm going to grab 1 minor power, I think. What I was hoping for here was Elemental Boon. There's a card which lets me give somebody else elements, and I could have procced my passive higher and gone infinite vitality twice. But that didn't happen. Defend 5 is good, though. And cost 0. Free fear and defend 6. This is attacking for 7, so that's actually enough there. And then defend 5 can go in like here or something. I think I might be dead. I don't know. We're also dreaming of an untouched land, which will remove Blight, actually. Defend 5 somewhere. Defend a bunch more somewhere else. And deal a damage eventually. Oh, also we have 2 tier 3 fear cards. Yeah, this should somehow be fine. We're not sure how yet, but it should somehow be fine. Dream of Untouched Land is going to hit, I think, here? Oh, so we're getting 2 more Blights. Infinite Vitality goes there. That stops their thing. A spirit with presence on target board may add 1 of their destroyed presence. Gather up to 2 Dahan. Push a Blight. Is there a way to, like, stop something from cascading? We go, like, here. Something I like that does it is it lets me push this Blight out, and now if we Blight again here, we can cascade into there safely. Gift of Strength. Oh, somebody gets to do something twice. Oh, I forgot. That was the whole thing. All right, so you get to do a thing twice. You can sap the Strength of Multitudes here. And you can also sap the Strength of Multitudes here. Huge. And then Trees Radiate goes there. That stops that from doing a thing. Whew. Hardworking Settlers. On each board, push up to 2 Dahan, add a village to a land without a village, immediately ravage in the land with the most invaders that matches a ravage card. Oh. Did that kill me? No, because I ravage here, and both of them are actually safe. What's the other option? Ravage cards skip up to 1 matching land on each board. Player chooses which 1 fear per player. Remove the bottommost stage 2 and stage 3 cards in the invader deck. There are only 2 cards left, so that I think would lose for me. So we're going to act cautiously, which should work. Push up to 2 Dahan. This goes here. Now it's actually going to kill stuff. What does this do? Dahan have 4 health. That's not enough. But we can push these Dahan to there, and they'll fight back there. That's actually pretty good. Click a land to add a village to it. Let's go for this one, since jungle's not in the cards at the moment. Click a board to ravage in a land. Fights back. This turn, beasts also count as bad lands on each board. Destroyed a damaged invader in a land with a beast. There's still no beasts. Levels of fear are palpable. Each player removes up to 4 health worth of invaders from land with a beast, disease, or at least 2 Dahan. Are there any of those? This is so bad. It's kind of weird. I don't actually want to do this, because if I remove them, I don't create fear. I want to destroy them in the combat phase. So Skip. All right, that was not a very good terror level 3 card. Oh my god. The other one also needed a beast. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I have never had fear cards this bad before in my life. I think I'm dead. Oh well. This does happen if you spend 3 turns in a row doing nothing but stalling. Is that what I did? I don't know if that's what I did. I think I mean, I don't think that's what I did. Okay, anyway. I was consumed by the consuming void. That is true. Unfortunately, I think this is just like deterministically lost now. We'll die at the end of fast phase next turn if I don't die right now. This is a problem, this is a problem. This is a problem, this is a problem. This is a problem. I don't think I can deal with all of that to begin with. And then also I have to like win somehow. I think what we can do is we can try to get another level 3 fear card, and maybe we will get a fear card which does anything. And if we get a fear card which does anything, maybe we're okay. Reclaiming doesn't really do much because 8 energy is not actually enough energy. Target land adjacent to it become a single land for this turn. I can play that, just barely. Get 4 card plays this turn. Useful. I don't think I can survive past the combat phase, even. 2 fear, add a beast, gather up to a beast. 1 damage per beast. Let's do this to get fear. Oh, this already gets fear. Right? 1 fear. That's not enough fear. But it's 1 fear, and then something else will give 1 fear as well. Yeah, If I survive, look at this power going off. I can push up to 2 explorers or to Han. All I have to do is survive. I don't think these are it. In a single land within 2 of your presence, target spirit has 2 of their destroyed presence. Any presence was added 2 damage to each village or city. 2 fear and push a bunch of stuff. 2 fear and push a bunch of stuff is maybe more relevant. In a single land within 2 of your presence, deal 2 to every village and city. What's this? For each strife or blight in a land, 1 fear and 2 damage if it destroys all invaders. That's slow. Okay. So I think it has to be... Blazing Renewal. We lose... Infinite Vitality doesn't matter anymore. Add a presence. There, why not? We'll see what happens. We are going to... Yo, I'm kicking it. I had no idea. Well, that helps actually quite a lot. We're going to block there. In order to do that, I have to gather presence. Hold on. I need to do it the other way around, actually. Undo. We are going to Winds of Rust and Atrophy this. No. What? Why did you pull that way? I guess it still works. Then we're going to Winds of Rust and Atrophy. This? Then we're going to take 2 fear from this. Then we're going to block that. All right, so currently this is okay. Oh, and then we're going to Blazing Renewal. Target spirit. That lamp. Like that. Okay, give me something. For each board, discard the top minor power. If it lacks blue, add blight to sands. That could immediately kill me. If this goes to 0, do I die? I think I need to add 1 more still. Or I can play 4 per player, aided by blue. Each spirit may add a presence to one of their lands with the Han. That seems better. Use the drought. I'm just going to go ahead and forget a blue card. Done. Oh, all of your presence is spiced? That means I can't actually place more presence anymore. All right, skip, actually. Or can I click this and drop it again? Yes. Click and drag presence to a land to add it. Sorry, what does this say? Each spirit may add one presence to one of their lands with the Han. Oh, okay. So there. Beasts. Defend one per Dahan in each land. What's it got? Each player adds a strife to an invader. For the rest of this turn, invaders have -1 health per strife. Okay. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not enough. Is it? Oh. Is it enough? 10, 13. That keeps me alive right now. We had a strife there. And a strife here. Oh, there was another one that I didn't notice. GG. That was a great game. I really enjoyed that. And if you're checking out the game for the first time, you got to see me play just like absolutely terribly. And so now you have that incentive. Like, I could do better than him to buy the game and check it out. I'm going to go have dinner. It's 10 p.m. I will see you all next time. Thanks for tuning in, though. I hope you had a good time. This is Spirit Island, and this has been sponsored content. If you're on YouTube, you can check out the link below the video. If you're here, !Spirit Island is the link to the game. And I'll be playing this again next week, and hopefully we can get a win next week.